opportunities or threats. I think there were 7 opportunities and 10 threats where we actually had the strengths within the community today to do something about those. And so we've captured those, and they've been included in the considerations around this report. Thirdly, trends. So taking a look at our political, our economic, social, and technological trends impacting rural lakeshore communities similar to ours, looking at comparative communities. There are some trends that are relevant. Some of them we're experiencing now, some of them are coming down the road. So we've taken a look and made note of those. Through those 3 inputs, we've come up with 5 themes, and those themes are in the report, but to refresh your memory, we understand and recognize that consumer tastes and demographics are changing both in the community and with the people that are visiting the community, and as well with the median age of entrepreneurs, farmers, people that are running businesses in and around the area. Secondly, competing in a global marketplace requires more community cooperation and partnerships. That's a trend. So we need to consider that and how, like through the Economic Development Group or through businesses inside the community helping each other with new markets, exports, vertical markets, how can we make things like that stronger? Just connecting people with people, business with business. Thirdly, as a high-cost, low-volume producer, Lambton Shores must emphasize its quality, innovation, or uniqueness. So those are things that we need to recognize to sustain our business. Fourth, growing our existing business is a better use of our resources and offers the greatest potential to add jobs and prosperity, as opposed to investing a lot of money around attracting larger industry to a smaller community. That's fairly high-risk activity. Adding 1 or 2 jobs to most of your businesses locally has a far bigger impact. And I think even within London, they were trying to portray that trend just recently as well. And lastly, developing young leaders and attracting new entrepreneurs will spark innovation and investment locally. But in order to do that, we need to make sure that we have the foundation, development, and training in place to support people like that. So that's where we are now. Move to the next slide. Where do we want to be? So we took a look at 3 things here. Vision, mission, and future state. So with our current situation understood, and we spent a fair amount of time around that, we then needed to think about our future. And when we think about our future, we need to look about what we value today, what we would change if we could, and what does that look like 5, 10, 20 years down the road. Nobody has a crystal ball, but you can envision what that would look like, and we did just that. So we wanted to be clear on 3 things. What our destination, if you think about vision, and vision being the destination of where you want to get to, ultimately. The mission being the road that you're going to take to get there. And the future state being, what are the descriptors so that when I get there I'll recognize it, I know what it looks like. We spent probably 4 sessions going back and forth on what that would look like, and if you can imagine a number of people in the room all having different visions of what that future should look like. So it was fun and a moving target all the time. So what did we come up with? Well, in terms of our vision, it's not up there, but I'll read it to you. Our economic vision will make Lambton Shores, the coast with the most, a natural place to thrive. So the key words, I think, in that, first of all, it's simple. Very understandable. We had everything from 5 paragraphs to 5 lines to 1 line, and we went back and forth several times, but I think the key elements are that the coast with the most is what we envision. And if you go to, there's actually an attachment and it's in the report, there's probably 35 things in there that describe what most really means, and there's probably another 35. So we can back that up with what that means through those descriptors. And a natural place to thrive, the 2 key words there are natural and thrive, and the people that are here because of its natural beauty and environment. That's first and foremost why they come, why they stay. Especially if you weren't born here, you come here because you're attracted to that, but then you can practice everything else that you need around business and personal life in a natural place. So in terms of our mission statement, working together to enrich And then entrepreneurial spirit being the key. I mean, Lambton Shores was founded on entrepreneurism. There's entrepreneurs everywhere, and we need to make sure that there's succession plans in place for the ones that we have. We need people to know that it's easy and interesting and viable to run a business here. And in terms of supportive infrastructure, that's things like, you know, the pipes, the pavement, economic development, resources, all of the things that go into helping people thrive. So then, in terms of economic values, we wanted to talk a little bit, or think a little bit about, well, what kind of behavior or values do we need to demonstrate around our economic development and our economy? So first and foremost, it needs to be welcoming, it needs to be supportive, resourceful, and resourceful meaning that everybody has constraints, resources are limited, everybody needs more than you have. But if you're resourceful, you can find ways to prioritize those constraints and move around those constraints, and that's what we need to be doing. Whatever we do needs to be sustainable in the sense that you're not creating quick and short incentives that run out, don't help a person really sustain their business. So what are we going to do to help them, but help them survive and thrive, not just help them get started and run into problems. And prosperity, of course. So in terms of the vision, I think I mentioned it already, that future vision. I won't go through and talk about the 35 vivid descriptions that we came up with, but I can tell you that we looked at it through the lens, or 7 lenses really. And those lenses being the economy, the environment, recreation and leisure, transportation, social well-being, sustainable growth, and effective government. So those descriptions, we had something under all of those categories that would describe the future of Lambton Shores. And so you can refer to those in the document. Next slide, please. So, how do we get there? There's really a couple ways that a couple things we needed to do here first and foremost. Number one is we needed to decide what our priorities were. I mentioned earlier on, you can't be everything to everyone and you can't solve everything or need to solve everything. But there are some things that are important. And under these priorities, there's a number of different goals and objectives we could pursue. But I think first and foremost, we needed to get the priorities right. Those priorities were having a solid foundation in the community in which you can build your economy, a brand for Lambton Shores where people feel proud, they can be attracted, they want to stay, they understand what Lambton Shores is, not just what the towns are within Lambton Shores, but they understand what Lambton Shores is, where it is. We need to have a competitive agriculture and food industry, a prosperous business base, a small business base, but with industry as well. An active creative cultural sector, sustainable growth, and a thriving tourism industry. So those were the 7 priorities or pillars that we've built our economic development action plan around. Then behind those pillars, we took it to the next step and developed some overarching goals. I can read them, in fact, maybe I will. So those 7 goals, be strategic in approaching our infrastructure, human capacity, and services relating to economic development activities. So making sure that we've got the foundation in place to support it. And unifying a brand and continuously building on that brand of Lambton Shores to help people find us, especially when you look at it in terms of businesses or individuals wanting to locate here. The more they know of us, we could probably ask Kevin what he knew about Lambton Shores before he joined us. And how do we help people like Kevin learn about Lambton Shores